I'm T. Anthony Bland, but most of you know me as Whitebeard from the hiking team of Whitebeard and TK, or when she was younger, Whitebeard and the Kid hiking duo. We were a team, and for over 8.5 years, my daughter and I traveled together, doing adventure traveling, backpacking, hiking, and camping, and all that other stuff, as you well know. So, for some of you new folks who've just joined and visited and found this channel, welcome. For some of you old folks, welcome back. As you will see, there's some few differences happening right now. As you might have noticed, my sleeping bag in the back. My daughter and my partner is not here. In 2016, we lost her mom, my wife, and the matriarch of this family. There are 5 older brothers and sisters, older than my daughter, who was 13 when her mom died, in front of her and with me there as well, in front of us both. And so at the time, the older children were already out the house, and the 2 closest to her were on their way out the door. And what I didn't want to do was leave a 13-year-old with that being the only memory of her childhood, which was to be that, and also to watch her father slip further and further down into a drain after losing his wife, after being married for almost 20 years. We were married 19 years when I lost my wife. The following year, we got the puddle jumper, which you've seen. The puddle jumper has taken us all over. It's taken us across this country twice. Well, me twice, her one. It took us across this country and up and down the East Coast. First, we started out with concerts, and I started taking to other places that my wife and I, Cheryl and I, wanted to go to. And then I took her to some other places, and we just traveled around. And then the following year, I wanted my lifelong dream of being a mountaineer and started hiking and dragged her with me. Then she started to like it. Now, we had been traveling and doing all of these different things and building up all these memories and doing all this outdoor stuff, which no one in my family had ever done, much less drive across the country in a car. So this was all brand new, me pioneering this whole thing and taking her with me. So we did all that. Then 2020 happened, and it cut down and it shut down everything. In 2021, we launched a podcast. It started out really being just about the adventures outdoors. And it turned into something different because we have never been just about one thing. And definitely me have never been just about doing one thing. I've always been interested in so many different things in life. Ergo, the ambiguous title of the channel, the Whitebeard and TK Experience. However, if you think about it, it does explain what the channel is about. Our experiences into what? The outdoors. Yes. Could have made it a little easier. Black people hiking, all that other good stuff, but that's never been me. But then the podcast morphed into some other things where it began to be the conversations that we have in the car while traveling and hiking. And that's how we changed it from that to the Whitebeard TK podcast. And it was set as us just having a conversation and people in the back seat driving with us. Where we get the tagline from, jump in the back seat and take a ride with us. Right. Then we went on our first backpacking trip here in East Tennessee over in Smoky Mountain. And it was during that time that I thought we should start recording some of these things, because everything that we've ever done, when I posted them, was always on Instagram. Sometimes I may have tweeted them out. It was always on Instagram, short little videos, little pictures. I would talk about the hike and everything else. We started out with the 52 hike challenge. You could check any of the boxes, description box, and you'll see the whole thing about the 52 hike challenge, how hiking changed my life and actually saved my life. So we went hiking, and then we started the YouTube channel in 2021. And we were doing well. We were putting up a lot of different things. We never really caught on fire and had a large audience, and I have other reasons for that. That'll be a different video. But this is just to welcome you who are new, who don't know what happened. And so we continued and we traveled, went across country, and decided we wanted to be stationary somewhere. And so this was the chosen place to be in East Tennessee. And the reason for that would be that it's kind of closer to the Northeast where some family is, but also because Tennessee is a gateway to the rest of the country. We're surrounded by a bunch of states, and it's the closest one you can get to when you start getting to the Midwest, which this is supposed to be the home base to continue traveling across the country for the 52, for the for the 50 hike. You know what? I'm not gonna cut this. For the 50 state tour. And that was it, to try to get to all 50 states. So right in the middle of the third season, while we were still editing, she left Tennessee to go back up northeast. And I'm still here in the same place that she left me. So I spent about a year trying to figure out what it is that I want to do, what's going to happen now. Now I have an empty nest. What's next? I pondered it for a while and decided, you know what? Why not continue on the original thing and the original plan as long as I could possibly do it? And so I started looking on YouTube to see if I can find anybody else who's doing this. Well, come to find out, there are not a lot of people my age now that are out there doing the things that they used to do, that they love to do. And as a cab driver, I have a lot of people that sit in the back behind me who I take from the doctor to the supermarket and back home because they've gotten so old and they've given up and don't think that they can still do things. But we can. We have to modify and change the way we travel or outdoor or whatever. And for some people, just being a homebody is for them. But what about us? What about the people who've been camping and hiking and doing so for so long and still enjoy it and still want to do it? Well, the thing about this channel, about our show, the Friday night adventure show, which was actually the real title. It wasn't supposed to be the Whitebeard TK Experience. The actual title is the Whitebeard TK Experience, the Friday night adventure show. But anyway, the thing about that was that it was about me starting and hiking at 54. And I already had arthritis. My daughter has asthma, and I was falling apart left and right, had a bunch of injuries in my feet. And it was like, okay, so are we really going to do this? Yes. And so as we started recording it, the point was to encourage people who are looking at it, the people who fall into the show, the people who fall into this channel, and to encourage them to get out. You know, another part of what we used to say was that, you know, we were going from the hood to the woods, because this all started while we were in the projects in the South Bronx. And not too many people around us were even thinking about doing what we were doing. They wouldn't even venture out into the woods or anything else. Like many city dwellers do. They don't really think of something like that. They just think about all the things to do inside of a city. So that was unique. Our show was unique in that way. Our style, I don't think we had a style. It was just father and daughter doing what we naturally would be doing. It was built around anybody at any age or any condition can do what we do. No, I didn't hike the 15,000 footer or the 15, I forgot how in the hiking world it's all called. We didn't get up to 15,000 feet. I don't think her lungs wouldn't have made it. My knees wouldn't have made it that far up. I can go up. Coming down, that's a whole different animal. And so, you know, we climbed what we could climb. I can probably go even higher than that. But we did what we could with what we had and enjoyed it. And that was the point, to encourage people to do the same thing. Well, I'm trying to continue that now with the first ever spinoff. Couldn't come up with a name, a clever name, anything else like that. So it started out with just exploring over 60. adventuring and doing all these other things while at the same time dealing with the challenges of getting older. How does it shape things? How does it change things? Because I'm also doing it as a solo. There's no team, there's nothing else. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, that's the attempt. That's that's the point. That's what I'm trying to do. That's the goal. And hopefully you'll come along with me. Maybe I'll see some of you along out the road. Maybe someday I'll host a hike and people can come with me. Hopefully, one day what I would love to do is get the 3 generations back together again to do something. What? I don't know. That would be my daughter and my grandson, since we've hiked together before. Or even other family members out here to do stuff. So that's what this is all about. To say hello to you guys again, to finally do this thing, to I guess to be a launch of the new series. My hope and my goal is that over the next 2 to 3 years, I don't know if I'm still going to be living here, but over the next 2 to 3 years to try to finish the 50 states. Whether going through and passing by just to have a burger, or stopping in to do something or spending some time in those particular states. That's the plan. Thank you for being here. Like, share, make some comments. Really love to hear from you people. Say something. But yeah, that's it. That's the game plan for right now. Over the next 2 to 3 years to try to finish all the 50 states. I really want to get overseas. There are some places in Africa I would love to go to visit and to hike. I don't want to jack up the name, but I think it's El Camino or something like that. That whole pilgrimage that you do through Spain, I really would like to do that. I don't know if that's going to happen within the next couple of years, but yes. So the plan here in this limited type series, oh my gosh. Anyway, let's get back to it. So the plan is over the next 2 to 3 years to finish the 50 states and to do some other stuff. What is it going to be? I don't know. Culture, food, meeting people, doing different things. Sometimes I'll be backpacking. Sometimes I'll be hiking. I don't know. It's doing the things that interest me and hope that it encourages you. Or you. And all of y'all over there in the back, or whoever's sitting around the screen or the television watching this. So, that's it. Welcome. Hope to see you again. Haven't figured out a day of when I want to drop these videos. It'll happen. Thinking maybe midweek. Whatever.